Gary throws a fit about having to give the crew a ride in the tender he crashed the night before. So far, Gary's killing it this season. Chef likes to rap, do magic tricks, and be in a position to make big money moves, but has a worse game than a 12-year-old Nakoma. And Danny is more aggressive with men than a fat kid in Dairy Queen.
I'm Morgan.
I'm Lane.
Welcome to Below Deck Sports. Hi everybody, welcome back to Below Deck Sports, a sibling duo YouTube show where we recap current Below Deck seasons. Today we're recapping Below Deck Sailing Yacht Season 5, Episode 2, Tender Bender.
Tender Bender.
Hey, that's a good title.
Yeah, but there's no chicken tenders.
There was a fender bender on a tender.
Fair enough.
You really didn't understand?
No, I did.
Okay.
I just thought of that joke immediately when I started watching the episode.
Oh, man. So if you're new here, the way our episodes work is we start with 2 quick questions for each other based upon this week's episode since we don't watch them together. And then throughout our recap, we focus on like 2 to 4 main points throughout. Okay, so I wanted to do like a quick note at the top of this episode, and maybe this is something we'll start doing because there were a ton of comments correcting me. Daisy has not been on Sailing Yacht. Yeah. And normally, like, whatever, like, we don't feel the need to respond to all the comments, but I felt I owed it to you guys because I was wrong. It was Jenna McGillivray.
Sure.
We did watch, and I thought that was interesting. You know what I noticed? Not a single person that was on season 1 of Sailing Yacht came back for season 2. Not a single one.
Really?
Which is weird.
Yeah.
Besides Glenn, obviously.
Yeah.
Colin wasn't even there.
I always thought Colin and Gary started the whole thing, but I guess not.
I always remembered that Gary didn't, because remember that the bosun was like dating one of the deckhands prior to the season starting?
Yeah.
You probably don't remember that. You do?
Yeah, they like shared a cabin together, right?
Yes. And I thought that was unique.
Mm-hmm.
So I remembered that, but I didn't remember that Daisy wasn't there. But I just thought that was weird, that like not a single person continued on into season 2. And then when we started season 2, we basically kept Gary, Daisy, Colin.
Yeah.
3 main players. Just
yeah,
weird.
That is really weird.
So anyway, I was wrong about that. I do remember. And it also seems like we shouldn't even be on season 5 of Sailing Yacht, but we are.
Yeah.
I thought it was like season 3.
I know. I feel like some of those seasons in the middle were all just kind of the same thing over and over again, though.
Speaking of the same thing over and over again, the way this ended, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I am not playing into Daisy and Gary again.
Yeah, it's just the same thing every season.
It's same thing. So, anywho, wanted to give that to you guys. So, the topics I have for today, I had to get a little bit creative. Danny's flirtation, in general. Gary crashes a tender, clearly. And Cloyce's character development.
Oh, wow. I know. I wish I would have thought of a better joke for the intro, but it's tough to listen to.
You know what's weird? Okay, so Lane writes that intro. I do not hear it until you guys do. Like, until we record that. He does not prep me. My topics matched up with everything you said.
Oh, really?
Which is rare.
Yeah.
Right? Danny's flirtation. Gary crashes a tender.
Yep.
And Cloyce's character development.
Yeah, that is weird.
Very weird.
I don't think that's happened yet.
I don't either. We're always like a little bit off.
Yeah, it's usually I hit like 2 out of 3 and then I miss one, but it's usually just the things that I think are funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Not really the main points.
Okay, so question I have for you today.
Oh, God.
What was Davide on at that festival?
I don't fucking know.
What was that? You want to know my notes? I thought it was really like funny.
Yeah.
I said, number 1, went to festival. Number 2, married a guy. Number 3, was married for 2 to 3 years and then divorced. Number 4, not gay.
You know what it reminded me of? There's this meme where it's like explaining they call it gay chicken.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
And they're like it's basically when like 2 guys close their eyes and like pucker their lips and walk toward each other, and whoever like bows out first is like the loser. And it was like I've been playing gay chicken with this guy named Gary for 9 years. We got
live
married
together
5
and have
years.
kids?
Yeah, and he's like, this guy better give up soon or I'm going to start thinking he's actually gay.
That's exactly what I thought. I was like, that whole story was crazy, but the craziest part was when at the end he's like, I'm not gay. What?
Yeah.
Like, and then never hear about it again. Davide barely gets any screen time. The poor guy drops the craziest story we have the whole episode and then gets nothing.
Yeah, nothing. Like, that's interesting. I want to hear more about that.
do
Not
too.
about Gary and Daisy fighting over a 10-minute tender drop.
I know.
Like, what the hell?
Oh, sorry. I didn't even really give you a chance to answer that one because I just
That's
was
okay.
setting myself up.
That's all right.
What you got for me?
Oh, man, there's so many questions I wrote down.
No, you didn't. Okay, did you forget a question for real?
I did.
Okay, I wrote 2, which is also weird because I barely ever write 2.
Yeah,
So
we
we'll just-
usually cover each other without knowing it.
Yeah, very weird. Okay, my second one is, do you like Cloyce? Tough, right?
Tough. He kind of reminds me of like a 12-year-old in his dad's blazer.
Yeah, definitely, especially the outfit on the night out.
Yeah.
He reminds me so much of a kid that I went to high school with. And I'll just say this kid's first name. His name was Robert. And he was exactly like Cloyce was, where he literally walked around and talked about like the stock market when we were like 16. And you're like, you don't know any, like, I know your dad like probably works at a bank or something.
Yeah.
And you just think like, so that's exactly what this guy reminds me of. I also am not sure whether I like him or not.
I know, it goes back and forth because on one hand, you're like, all right, buddy, like you've been in the kitchen all your life. You don't know how to like socialize and be normal. But then on the other hand, he's like super cocky about it. It's
Right.
like, all right, settle down. Like, how tall are you? I'm kidding.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, we start with the dinner service shit show.
Yeah.
And Daisy's like, did I put him in a sticky situation? Yes. Is it my fault? No. That's literally what she should have just said.
I found this ID in this wallet. Yes.
So take it.
It's not my wallet.
We should have a day where we watch SpongeBob. Like we did that not too long ago where we just watched random episodes on Paramount.
Oh, yeah.
We usually do it around Christmas time because we like to watch the Christmas episode. We should plan on that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, we watch the Christmas episode and then we're like scrolling through. We're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's a good one. And then
I
we watch
know.
it. Yeah.
Oh man, I want to do it right now. But I do love, we have to watch the Christmas episode every year. Like,
every year.
It's required.
Yeah.
The original Christmas
The
one.
original.
Not the
Not this
newer
bullshit.
Not the newer ones. The original.
Yeah.
Where SpongeBob tries to get Santa to come to Bikini Bottom.
Yeah.
And he doesn't come, and Squidward has to be SpongeBob, but SpongeBob doesn't know that it's Squidward, even though it looks just like Squidward.
I know they said you had a big nose, but that thing's ginormous. Or gigantic, I think he says.
So yeah, I mean, dinner ended up being fine, like we talked about last week. Like, truly, I think the guests didn't even really notice. I think a couple of the guests were without dinner for like a couple minutes.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah, it really wasn't a big deal.
Captain Glenn had a sick afro.
Hell yeah, he did.
Why did they just, again, two of the most interesting things this episode, they barely gave us any info on and then just took them away.
Yeah.
I wanted to see more pictures of Glenn with an afro.
I would have watched a half an hour of that.
Yep, just a slideshow of pictures of him.
Yeah. I want to know his life story.
I literally was just about to say that.
Don't ever give it up, though, Glenn. Don't
ever do it.
Don't do it.
I feel like Glenn, I'm rooting for Glenn to be in contention with Captain Carrie and Captain Jason this season.
Yeah.
Because we just like them so much.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, oh my God, I didn't even tell you this, which is good. Okay, side note, guys, but this is Below Deck related, so stick with me. I saw, maybe I should have sent it to you. It was a TikTok or an Instagram reel or whatever. Captain Lee. Oh no, someone sent it to me. Sorry, guys. I'm just remembering this. One of our listeners sent me the video on TikTok. Mm-hmm. Captain Lee had like a live show, was talking straight up shit about Captain Sandy.
Really?
Like, I wouldn't say he was like, I hate Captain Sandy, I think she's a bitch. Like, he wasn't that forward with it. But like, someone asked him a question and was like, who's your least favorite person on Below Deck or something like that? And he's like, Sandy.
Really?
And I was dying because I actually have to look. I deleted TikTok off my phone, but I think I had pulled it up on my computer just to check our Below Deck experts. I need to go back because I commented back to the person the gasps because it's hilarious. Like, I need to send it to you because the funniest part about it is they asked the question. Someone in the audience asked the question. He says, Sandy. The entire audience goes, it was crazy. It was like it was a track. Like, it was like the whole entire audience was like, oh! So look that up, guys. You probably can find it if you like search on TikTok, like Captain Lee, Captain Sandy or something like that. But the funniest part about it is the gasp from the audience that you would have thought that someone was murdered on the stage. Like, they were like so dramatic. It was great. But anyway, I did not know they don't vibe.
Yeah, what a shot from a retired captain.
Yeah.
Like, just wow.
I don't obviously know either one of them personally. I just don't know that I would necessarily get along with Captain Lee.
No.
So I take what he says with a grain of salt because, like, yeah, maybe he has his reasons for not liking Sandy. Maybe there is more to it that we don't know. But I don't particularly think I'd love him either.
No, I've and we're probably going to get roasted for this because I know people really like him, but I've never seen the appeal of it.
Yeah.
I kind of avoid going back to watch the old episodes.
I know.
I mean, I'm going to do it one of these days, but I'm like, what's the what's the shtick? Like, what's going on? Why are we leaving this guy on the show for so long? Is it because it's funny when he kicks people off the show? Like, what's going on?
I know. I think my take on it is I'm with you. Like, I think they know we're not the biggest. Like, Captain Lee's on the bottom of our list of captains.
Yeah.
But I think he was the first, right? So, like, he was the season 1, episode 1 Below Deck when it was only Below Deck. And I think people liked him for his, like, crotchetiness of, like, I'm the captain, what I say goes. Hey, I kind of sound like him.
You kind of did,
That was great. And then as we developed and had Captain Sandy, she was likable in certain ways. But I think he had already kind of cemented in what was likable about. Yes. Yeah. So I don't know that if you put Captain Lee on like Below Deck Down Under right now, probably wouldn't do well. No. Just because of how everything's evolved and how we like captains who are more compassionate and whatnot, you know.
Yeah, every time I think of him, I just think of that clip where he's like, now that's cringeworthy. And I just wanted to punch my TV. Yeah.
He definitely has moments where you can tell he's trying a little bit too hard to be the, you know.
Yeah, and after, like every now and then after the episode, it'll come up like him and whoever have their own show now. And I'm like, nope.
I know. Kate, I think. And I like Kate, but I don't think that show made it. I don't think it's on anymore for this episode or for this season.
I haven't seen much of it.
No. They do have a Below Deck after show now, but anyway, guys, back on track.
Yeah.
Captain Glenn had an afro. It was cool. What was that motherfucker up to in the 70s? Am I right?
What was that motherfucker up to in the 70s? Who knows?
We'll never know, and god damn it, that's his right.
We needed like a fan edit of what he was doing in the 70s.
Okay, so now on to Danni. Okay, let's talk about Danni. Mm-hmm. I said ick. I don't know if Danni telling girls that they need to go to the gym and become a cheerleader for self-confidence is the vibe.
No.
Did you get that same, I mean, I know you're not a girl, so you don't really have that perspective, but did you get the same feeling when she said that? Like, ooh, I don't know if I like that.
It would be almost to the point of me telling another guy, like, just be taller.
Yeah.
Like, it's obviously possible to go and do that, but it's like, come on.
I know.
It's like, be prettier.
That's true. And that's the vibe I got, that I was like, girl, you realize it's not for girls that don't look like you. Like, yes, maybe you were a little bit overweight and you weren't super athletic or whatever. it's not that simple for everybody. Now I know Below Deck is not that deep, so like we can't really hold her on a pedestal too much. But I'm like, girl, like, I don't know. Every time somebody says that, like, and same thing on TikTok, right? Oh, just count your calories, macros, blah, blah, blah. Like, not that simple.
No.
And clearly you still struggle with some self-confidence issues. I'm just going to say that. Like, you would not need all this value. You can play it off as I love to flirt, whatever. You like attention. And that's okay. I'm not saying she's a bad person for wanting attention, but I think you got to call out what it is. Where it's an ego booster.
Yeah.
What else? What else could it be? I've been guilty of it too. Everybody has.
Yeah.
But you can't say stuff like, just go to the gym and be a cheerleader and your life will be better.
Yeah, it's like telling someone who's depressed, like, just be happy.
Right. Just get out of bed.
It's not that simple, and
right.
it never is, and that's pretty much what you just said, so I'll say something else now.
Mansplain it for me.
Yeah, so anyways, whatever she was saying.
So we are at the part where, okay, I was a little confused because we had a dinner, right? Are we right around the part where we had a dinner?
I haven't been paying attention. I'm kidding.
To the entire... I didn't watch this episode.
I believe we are.
Okay, because I didn't write it, because my next note's sexy dance instructors, ? But I know that they had dinner prior to the sexy dance instructors.
Yeah, we already covered dinner with them sending the steak back.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Not a big deal. Now it's the dancers, yeah.
I thought I missed it, but I didn't. Yeah, what'd you think about this sexy dance instructor thing?
I have no idea.
Who thought of that?
I don't get it.
It's not what I would choose in a million years to do on a yacht.
Yeah, like just have Danny's sister come on the boat and dance for 20 minutes. Like, cool.
I would much rather, we say this every week, but murder mystery party. That would be so much more fun.
Or we play mermaids.
Or we
One
play
of the
mermaids.
two.
That's a good one. What about playing like, well, I was going to say you can't play Marco Polo because it's the ocean.
Please go on.
The longest game ever of Marco Polo. Someone ends up in Spain.
Because it's...
Oh, wait, it is Spain. God damn it. I thought I was making a joke. Someone ends up in Italy. There we go.
That's still in Spain. We all know that. Yeah, I didn't really know what to make of that. Davide, like, got in
That's
her
when he told us
face.
about the not gay story.
Yeah, and then told us the not gay story, and my mind was just like, don't hit pause. You're not going to understand it.
No.
And I didn't. And here I am.
But the most interesting thing that happens involving the dance instructor is the fact that she's on the tender and Gary crashes it.
And she's like, dear God, get me off this boat.
And then also there was a camera guy that they're like, you okay, bro? And I could just picture him like hanging off the tender. Like, yeah, I'm good. We're good.
Yeah. He's got a concussion. I'm good.
So he basically crashed into a rock because at first I'm like, what happened? Because they make it so dramatic, right?
Yeah.
Did they hit like another boat? Like clearly you could tell it wasn't another boat because he would have saw that. But
yeah.
I was like, was it a person? Just someone swimming.
He looks at it. It's just someone's like makeup smeared on the bottom of the boat. It's like, yeah, it was a rock. I don't know.
It's just like the Mista, get me out of here. You know that Mista lady? I think I just killed her. So yeah, he crashed into a rock and then just keeps. I mean, I guess what else are you gonna do, right? That just keep driving. Drops her off. Checks it out. He at first thought was taking on water.
Yeah, it was bubbling. Yeah.
Oh, bubbling. Drives it back. Tells Glenn. Poor Glenn's just trying to get his iPad enrichment time in.
Yeah, come on.
God, when you interrupt that, his whole day.
Whole day out the window.
Yeah, it's off, right? He's got to have that enrichment time.
That's like ending the charter and not sprinting back onto the boat to honk the horn. You don't fuck with it.
He has to do it.
He's got to do it.
He's got to. It's his routine.
He's a man. He has principles.
Exactly. So my question was, wait, I thought I wrote. Oh, no, I did write it down. I said, my question is, can't they get it out of the water or no? I think I'm thinking of like a med boat.
Yeah.
Because they keep the tenders on the boat, but like, now that I'm mentioning it, you couldn't put a tender on this sailboat, I don't think.
I mean, you could. It's not, I don't think it's made for that.
No, because they usually tow it behind, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, when we watch like the bigger boats, like with Captain Sandy.
Yeah, they just...
Right. Because at first I was like, just take it out of the water.
Yeah.
But then I was like, wait, that's not possible, probably.
Just write a check.
Speaking of writing checks, $180,000.
Yeah, what the fuck?
For an inflatable tender?
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
could buy the nicest like
House.
pontoon. Well, yeah, house. But I'm trying to think of like the nicest boat I've ever seen that's not a giant yacht. You could buy a really nice freaking boat for $180,000. What I don't somebody explain it to me if they know why that boat was 180,000 euros. Euros, sorry.
Yeah, I wrote down there's not a snowball's chance in hell that an inflatable boat is legally allowed to cost that much.
I'm for real.
Yeah, it's closer to like $200,000, like USD.
Did you Google like?
Yeah.
Well, not just the conversion, but like boats like that. Like
No, the conversion.
I wouldn't even know what to Google.
Boats.
Right. Like, how am I supposed to find that? I blew my mind. I was like, what?
It doesn't make any sense. Like, unless it's like the boat that is matching to the sailboat, like there's numbers matching out of the factory or builder or whatever.
So that's just like price gouging in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, it all is with
Right,
rich shit
true.
like that,
Yeah.
you know. But that's the only thing I can think of because it's just a motor
And an inflatable.
and an inflatable boat.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm with you. I cannot comprehend. Anybody that knows about tenders, let us know.
Yeah, like I'm not paying $200,000 for something I have to stand up to drive.
No.
Like that's bullshit.
That is insane. Again, you could buy, like, look up like the fanciest pontoon you can find. Now, I guess granted, you can find them for upwards of 200,000, but you can buy a pretty nice freaking boat to take out on the ocean or like a river for 180,000. Whatever. I think we've made our point.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Luckily, the damage is cosmetic. Not a big deal. They don't even tell us how much it'll cost because I don't know that it'll even cost that much. I mean, it probably will, but in
Don't
boat
worry,
money.
Captain. We'll buff out those scratches.
That's exactly what it is.
Literally what he said when he interrupted Glenn in his iPad time.
So then the guests, it's the next day and they are going day clubbing, which speaking of, that's on my bingo card. We'll get to that at the end. They are going day drinking and I said, I'm with you, Daisy. I too am in bed by 9:00. 9:00's actually a little bit late for me to be in bed now.
Yeah, I know. If it gets to be 9:00 and I'm like on TikTok or something, I'm like, she's asleep. There's no way.
Well, I was asleep by 9 last night, but usually not. But I don't know. We've been waking up early, so maybe you're right. Maybe I'm like mom now. I don't send her anything past 9 p.m.
Yeah, if it's like 9:05, I'll send her like a short text message, or I'll just set an alarm for the next day to text her, you or mom, like, hey, I need this, or hey, this.
Can you schedule text messages?
I wish.
That should be a thing because you can schedule emails.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know. I've always thought that, but then I have to make the alarm.
So here's what. Oh, I guess this is a little bit later, but I'll say it now. So they show us the time that they get to this day club. It's 2 p.m. By 5 p.m., the crew is like, aren't they ready to go?
No.
What? I was confused by that. Why did you think they were only going to stay for like an hour or two?
Yeah.
No, nobody goes to a day club like that with being like, I'll stay for an hour. Like, you're drinking. Like, when you start drinking, I mean, that's what happens in nightclubs too, right? You get to a nightclub at 10 p.m. and you're there till 5 a.m. Like, I couldn't comprehend them being a little bit irritated that the guests didn't want to go back by 5 p.m.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense to me because there's no... all the drinks are paid for the guests there. Why would they leave there to go back to their boat by themselves to just keep drinking?
I know.
Like, why wouldn't you stay there and have fun and listen to music and be in a pool?
I know. It could have been avoided in two ways. Number one, you should have assumed they'd want to stay longer. Number two, you could have asked them, like, hey, how long are you planning on staying? I think that would have been a pretty easy question because they would have been like, oh, probably till just like right before dinner.
Yeah. Like, why? Yeah, why wouldn't you?
What else would they do on the boat?
Yeah, that was kind of yeah, what else would you do? You're just sitting there. You're doing the same thing in both spots, but one spot is a lot more fun than the other.
Right, exactly.
Is what we're getting to here.
So I was just a little bit thrown off by that, them being like, well, why don't they want to come back?
Yeah.
I like the concept of a day club. There's a lot of pee in that pool.
Yeah.
I've always, even Vegas, like,
Nah.
I want to be like, oh, I think it'll be really fun. First of all, it's way too expensive. You know, they make you buy a cabana for like $2,000.
Jesus.
Typically you have to spend that amount of money in like food and alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess if you're with a party of 10 to 15 people, that's not a big deal. But anyways, I just never saw the appeal because also the pool, you're shoulder to shoulder with people in the pool. You can't even play mermaids.
Yeah, you can't even play mermaids.
Yeah, you can't even
Bullshit.
like put your goggles on. Oh God, could you imagine if you went under in that pool? Ugh.
You'd probably die.
Yeah.
At the very least, you're drinking some pee.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't vibe with just sitting in other people's pee.
No, yeah, because that's what everyone's doing.
Oh, absolutely.
No one's going in the bathrooms.
Oh God, no. Why
They're
would
doing
you?
something else in the bathrooms.
Yeah.
But they're peeing in the pool.
They're peeing in the pool for sure. Hopefully not pooping, but oh God, I won't even go.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
I won't even go there because like best case scenario, you see a turd floating, right?
Yeah.
Worst case, you just see a brown spot.
You just see. Right as you're diving in.
Playing mermaids. Sorry, guys, we won't talk about that anymore. Danny's making me cringe, like, in multiple ways. Like, she starts the episode by, like, coming on to Keith really hard and then talking to this, like, club promoter guy that's just
Some guy named Chad.
a twerp, a little Chad twerp, to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it because then it's like, oh, yeah, look at me. But he's just like some twerp that
works at this club to meet girls, right? Like,
yeah.
maybe we're being a little judgmental, but whatever. That was.
It's our show.
It's our show. We can do what we want. My eye is itching. I feel like we're back to that spot. Like, I feel like this time last year I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
At that point, it's harvest season.
It is.
I take an allergy pill every day, but sometimes it's not enough at this time of year. I know you guys were really wondering that. You're welcome. And then, so yeah, I don't know. We've already talked about Danny kind of being a pick-me.
We didn't talk about...
I just looked over at his iPad. I know that's what he wanted. He wanted me to look over and see that.
It's been sitting there for probably 10 minutes.
Dang it.
Did we talk about the whole, like, Keith said a joke to her and then she, like, overreacted?
No, because that's later. Like, they went to the
is
club. Whatever, we can be done with this because we already really talked about, well...
I thought that was before everything.
No, it was after the club. So,
yeah, you're right.
To finish up, we'll get to that in a second. We'll just finish up the club thing. They went to a day club without swim trunks. Gary had to go... They called, hey, can you bring these guys swim trunks? What a stupid thing to go to a day club without swim trunks, but who am I? Whatever. Daisy relays that to Gary. Gary gets all, Daisy's telling me what to do. No, she's not. She literally was just relaying a message, and Captain Glenn said the same thing.
Yeah.
And I said, get over yourself, Gary. Daisy is not bossing you around. Then Gary comes back. Then this was the whole thing. Oh my God, they want to stay longer than 3 hours? That's crazy. We didn't plan for this. So they're trying to send like Keith back and bring the stews back to start doing the beds and turn downs. Yes. Yeah. And Gary's like, I'm not doing it. And Daisy's like, okay, whatever. And then he like talks to Emma, and this is like a very quick rundown because this was also stupid. And Emma's like, why don't you just go get him? And he's like, fine, I'll go get him. And then he goes and gets him. And that's basically that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
stupid.
Then,
hey, Gary, do your job. No.
Right.
Daisy's making me do my job.
Right. So all in all, the guests do come back by dinner, which again is what we should have planned for in the first place. I knew someone was going to fall off the tender.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for it. It happened.
Guest down, guest down.
And then now we are at where Danny says Keith called her ugly.
Yeah.
Proceed.
Stupid.
That's what I had to go through all that for.
No, what does Keith say that she was punching up?
Yes. And first of all, stop using phrases we don't know.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on.
I know you're all European or South African or Australian. Barely any Americans on this show, but talk to us. Talk to us in American.
Talk American around here.
People got mad at us last week for having a problem with Ibiza.
Oh, yeah. Shut up.
It's a joke. It's funny.
It's funny. A lot of people said it was funny, so eat that.
We are never going to be. I've said this so many times. And again, if you're here listening, love that for us. Love you. Love that. But we are never, ever going to be that podcast or show, I guess now, that gets, number one, everything right. Because we barely do any research.
What, do you expect us to be experts?
Yeah. No. It's called Below Deck Experts for a reason. And number two, like, don't expect us to hit everything in the episode. Because my favorite podcast, I won't like call it out, but like they recap true crime documentaries, and I don't expect them to cover every single thing. Yeah. So I get sometimes you can get caught up in that. There are shows for that. It's just not our show. We're probably never gonna hit everything.
Yeah. If you want to know everything that happened in the episode, watch the episode.
Yep, that's what we got for you.
We're having fun.
So yeah, he like was trying to joke with her basically, and she latched onto it, being like, you called me ugly. It's just kind of a little way for her to continue flirting with him, I think, to be honest.
Yeah, or like get the high ground on him or something.
I don't know. That really turns into nothing. Now we have the 90s themed dinner. Yeah,
and Chef is like, I don't know, I wasn't even born. I'm like, eat a dick, food boy.
I said, if I'd been clubbing since 2, I would not be making it to dinner.
No.
There's no way. I think I'd be sleeping. Maybe. I don't know. Food does mean a lot to me.
You'd go to bed right after dinner.
Yeah, that's probably what would happen. I'd be really wasted at dinner. Speaking of, they didn't seem that wasted.
No.
They were taking like shots and stuff. Like, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I just don't, I don't know people's alcohol limits, but I was like, oh my God, they're taking the shots, whatever. They've been there for like 6 hours. I would not imagine they could make it to dinner, but they weren't even like that sloppy at dinner.
Yeah.
It was just strange.
And like the guest fell, but I don't think that was because of alcohol.
It might have had something to do with it, but she you could have just fallen anyways because it's unstable.
Yeah, it's a floating dock coming off of a floating boat.
Right.
Like, I almost fell over watching it.
So yeah, what do you got on the food?
I have Thai coconut curry with roasted sweet potato. And normally I write out my own thing, but I stole it from this website because they kind of nailed it.
Okay.
And I don't remember the website, so sorry if you wrote it. The Thai red curry is savory, salty. There's natural sweetness from the sweet Vidalia onions. Did I say that right?
I think so.
Cool. Carrots and coconut milk. There's perfect acid balance from the lime juice and very gentle heat from the Thai red curry paste. With a roasted sweet potato, it only boosts the flavor profile, adding in a little more sweetness, creaminess, and it balances some of the acid with how rich and nutty it tastes.
Have you ever had curry?
Yeah.
I think I have too, but I don't remember. Do you like it?
It's okay.
I like chicken tikka masala.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
We need to go back to that Indian restaurant.
Yeah.
That's in...
I'll blur it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but I thought it was an interesting dinner. There was no protein in it. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
I don't think I would have liked that.
Yeah, what's weird is the only recipes that I could see were that dish, but with chicken.
Right.
Yeah, and it didn't seem like he put any protein in it.
Yeah, just strange.
Yeah.
Anyway, they didn't hate it, but they were probably pretty wasted.
Yeah, they're like, man, food.
But let's get to the most important part where they ask him to take a shot and he raps for them.
You want to hear what I wrote down? He did his whole rap thing and it hurt. So I wrote down, Cloyce, you give me heartburn. Stop that. No more magic or rapping.
And I put, but Daisy's turned on.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I guess. Like, yeah, whatever.
If they would have panned, like if I was Daisy and they panned over to me, I would have been like,
I would have been like, oh.
Or I would have been like,
yeah, deer in the headlights.
So the dessert was warm apple crumble with pina colada ice cream. I can respect it. I wouldn't have wanted it. I don't like apple or pina colada stuff.
Yeah.
But I respect the homemade pina colada ice cream. We're not scooping it out of a thing. We've had a lot of drama with that.
A lot of drama.
Lots of drama. The tip. Oh, so that's kind of it. I mean, that's the rest I have for the rest of that charter.
Yeah, I didn't write anything down.
They say bye. They seemed happy, but the tip was only 15 grand. And I said, not that good, right?
So I think Sailing Yacht has always had the lowest tips.
Okay.
Because it's the smallest boat, smallest staff.
I don't know, though, because I remember specifically being like, oh, they usually have to split it between less people, which makes them make more money. But I remember the tips being about the same as Med and Down Under and everything.
Could be. I mean,
which makes sense. Deanna wasn't happy.
Yeah.
And she's like, I want more money. And I said, yeah, girl, you're used to that Russian money.
Yeah.
But I do think it was low. We'll have to see.
I mean, overall with Below Deck, I think the average is 20,000. This was 15,000, so it is low for all of Below Deck. But for some reason, I always remembered Sailing Yacht being a little bit lower.
Yeah,
so
and maybe I'm wrong, but I specifically remember like being jealous, not jealous, but being like, oh, if I was on Below Deck, I'd want to be on Sailing Yacht because they usually get the same tip, but they have to split it between less people. I remember having that. So we'll just have to see. That was the first charter. We'll see how they are for the rest. Cloyce talks about his big money moves. I mean,
Oof.
Yeah. And then Captain Glenn's pulling a Captain Carey and trying to learn Spanish on his phone.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, Glenn, listen.
Hey.
Captain Carey did this thing last season. Went over great.
Worked like a charm.
It was a big hit. What do you think about trying to learn a language on your phone? And he's like, I don't know, I guess. I can't believe he doesn't speak Spanish.
Yeah, he might. And he's just burying the lead.
Oh, you're right. He's now like reverse psychologying us, you know? Yep. Like you not only are you gonna know nothing about me, but now the things I'm gonna give you are completely fake.
Yep. You can't get a good look at that motherfucker.
What a genius.
What a guy.
So they go out on their night out. To be honest, there wasn't much to it.
No.
Gary was talking about Cloyce, or the guys were kind of talking, and they were like talking about, I don't know, the girls, what they'd want on the boat or whatever. And yeah. Cloyce was like, Daisy could be like wife material or something, or like, and Gary laughs and he's like, I think she'd eat him alive. And I was like, I kind of agree with Gary.
Yeah, I literally what I did was, I think I was folding laundry and I was listening to that part. And he said that and I laughed. And I was like, wait, fuck you, Gary.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
But I am interested to see if anything happens there. I don't think it's going to, but we'll have to see. I said I would not get involved with Danny if I was Keith, but I don't think that he's going to take my advice.
You got to get your airtime where you can get it. Yeah. I get it.
And then to cap it all off, Gary says, yet I still have feelings for Daisy. And I was like, please, God, no, let's not do this again. Because we know he doesn't. So let's stop. It's like oh God, it's such a tired storyline. And I don't feel bad for either one of them. Maybe Daisy a little bit more than Gary in this situation, not thinking of everything else. But I'm like, dear God, let's not do this again. Like, I'm not on board.
It's and I wish it had like a title, but I know it's someone who does this exact thing and has done it for the 10 plus years I've known them. And it's just this cycle of if they're not following him, then he throws a big fit or brings him back in with love bombing or, all these different things. Ugh.
I know. You know what I am surprised about, though? We're 2 episodes in, and Gary hasn't decided what girl he's going to go for.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I'm like, are they just not going for him? Because they always bring on like the 2 young stews that are kind of new, and then Gary kind of points them against each other, basically.
Right. But like Deanna and Danny seem to get along really well.
Yeah.
Danny's already kind of shown interest in Keith, so I think Gary sees that. So she's off the table. Daisy's, Daisy. I don't think Emma is like his type.
No.
And then Deanna.
She's too smart.
Deanna's the one that's left, and I think he'd typically go for her, but maybe her personality's just like too strong, or she's not that like crazy party girl that he goes for.
Yeah, I hope that she doesn't fall for him because I do like her.
I do, yeah.
In the season so far.
I do too.
Like she kind of makes me laugh in this like the one
Dry.
part. Yeah, the dry humor. That's what I was
Yep.
going for. She like the one part she pops the champagne, and what does she say?
I don't remember.
Fuck, I thought it was kind of funny. I don't know. She said something funny and it made me laugh.
Yeah, I know. So we'll see. Hopefully, I do not want to see anybody go for Gary this season.
Nah.
So that's basically it. So, our coming up on, we have Cloyce riding around on a sea bob, and Captain's pissed about it.
Yeah, what's up with him?
I don't know. We'll have to
Yeah.
see. It's just kind of funny, and I'm excited for it actually because he's literally riding around on a sea bob in a polo shirt.
Yeah.
And like he just jumped in his clothes. So who knows what happens there?
I don't know. I'm excited for that. They lose the tender too, so who knows? What
Who
that's
knows if
about.
they actually lose it?
Yeah, it might have
I'm not biting on that
floated
one.
away 10 feet away from the boat.
Exactly. So last part is our bingo cards. So Lane and I both actually got one this episode. I got Guests Go Clubbing, and Lane got Crew Member Drinks on Charter because they chef took a shot and Captain let him. So that kind of happened before we thought it would, I guess.
Yeah.
So I will update these on the YouTube. You guys let me know if I missed anything, but I kind of looked around and I think we only got one. I'm close. I'm 2 away. Lane's 3 away.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, look. So we'll see. I like this. We made it a little bit harder on ourselves this season because I think by this time last season, Lane
Nice.
like had bingo.
Yeah, I got it in like 3 or 4 episodes.
Yeah. All right. Anything else before we go?
Secret word.
Oh yeah, I always forget about that. I gotta write that down. I'm trying to think.
Sauvignon Blanc.
No, that wasn't part of the episode. You kind of always have to go with something in the
first word I
episode.
thought of.
Oh wait. Money moves, or what does he say?
In a position to make big money moves.
No, but we gotta shorten it to just money moves.
Big money moves.
Big money moves.
Big
That's
money
the secret
moves.
word.
There
That's a
it
good
is.
one.
There it is. Took us a minute. I might edit that out, but we got it.
All right, guys, this has been really fun so far. Like I'm having more fun in these first 2 episodes than I think I had the entire season last season.
Yeah,
so
that one just
it was pretty bad. But again, I like this so far. The only complaints is the whole Gary Daisy thing, but hopefully that's not going to be as big of a thing as we anticipate it to be.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, if nothing else, we'll see you next week.
We'll see you then.
Bye, guys.
Bye.